trusted news source, ABC6 News at Noon.
Good afternoon, everybody. We begin with the weather as we take a live look outside right now with our sky cam. It's really nice out there for this holiday Monday. Chelsea's standing by in the Weather Center with more on your forecast, just what you'd expect this time of year, Chelsea.
Yeah, exactly. We're seeing a few more clouds around the area today compared to the sunshine that we had on Saturday and Sunday, but we're actually a few degrees warmer. There's a breeze today coming in from the southwest around 13 miles per hour. Our temperatures right now are in the low 60s, and we'll gain another few degrees as we head into the afternoon hours, with temps today topping out in the mid 60s range, which is typical for this time of year. Low to mid 60s across the area right now, 61 in Smithfield, 62 again here in Providence, 63 in Newport, 65 for New Bedford. All of us running at least a few degrees warmer than where we were just 24 hours ago, about 5 to 10 degrees warmer, especially for our coastline right now. There's a little front that's passing through. Some rain showers up to our north. You can see a few showers moving just east of Hartford right now. Looks like most of the rain does stay north of us. Can't rule out maybe a sprinkle for our spots farthest inland as we head into the coming hours. But for the most part, it's just a lot of clouds passing through. And that will continue for the remainder of the afternoon and into at least the early evening hours. From there, we start to clear out, and I have a couple of brighter and warmer days ahead of us. I'll have much more on your full 7-day in just a few minutes. Doreen?
All right, Chelsea, thank you. And breaking news this noon time, Nantucket police are now saying that a charter plane scheduled to arrive in Nantucket tomorrow is not expected to carry migrants. This after the flight was flagged over the weekend by airport operations for having similarities with the two planes that Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sent to Martha's Vineyard last month. ABC6 News reporter Yanni Trigelis is in the newsroom. He has the latest on what we know at this point. Yanni?
Yeah, Doreen, well, Nantucket police say they spoke to representatives from the business group that chartered that plane and say it will be a group of executives from an investment company on board. Now, I spoke with airport officials who said that they were first alerted to the possibility of this plane carrying migrants due to the size of the plane being larger than what they are used to seeing land at Nantucket Memorial Airport. After being alerted of a possible plane full of migrants arriving on Nantucket this week, police now saying that won't be the case. Instead, it will be a group of investors on board a charter flight. In a statement posted to the Nantucket town website over the weekend, the police department said the reported scheduled flight had many similarities to the flight and incident that occurred on Martha's Vineyard, where last month Florida Governor Ron DeSantis sent 2 planes full of Venezuelan migrants to Martha's Vineyard with no heads up to Massachusetts officials, leaving those on the small island scrambling to accommodate the migrants upon arrival. An official from the Nantucket Memorial Airport telling ABC6 News those similarities included the type of airline and size of the plane, saying it's a 30-passenger plane coming to the island tomorrow, which caught airport operations by surprise, saying they aren't used to seeing planes that big land on Nantucket. But this morning, Nantucket police releasing an update saying the department has spoken directly with the charter company hired for the flight, who confirmed with Nantucket PD they will be carrying a group of executives. And Nantucket police do say they believe the information provided to them by that charter company is credible. And prior to this announcement, Nantucket officials said they did have a plan in place to take care of any migrants if they did arrive tomorrow. In the newsroom, Yanni Trigelis, ABC6 News.
All right, Yanni, thank you. And new at noon today, a teenager arrested for a stabbing in Woonsocket. Police Chief Thomas Oates says a 16-year-old was arrested and charged with stabbing a 26-year-old man just before 8 last night on Fairmont Street. That man's injuries are serious but not life-threatening. In Lincoln, one person taken to the hospital this morning after a fire breaks out at an apartment complex. ABC6 News reporter Natalie Norrie has been on the scene all morning. She is live with more. Natalie?
Doreen, that call came in around 6 a.m. this morning where reports of a possible structure fire were here at 104 School Street in Lincoln. Now, we're told that most of the damages were sustained on the 3rd floor because the fire started in a bedroom up there. This is a 6-unit property where 10 to 12 people were living. One person was taken to the Rhode Island Hospital for treatment, but the others were able to self-evacuate. There were about a dozen fire trucks lining the street earlier today, and though the majority of the damage inside right now is from water, fire officials believe the home can be saved.
Companies arrived on scene. People had evacuated the building. One needed treatment, was transported to Rhode Island Hospital. Firefighters made entry to the 3rd floor. There was a bedroom fire. They knocked the fire down.
And some first-floor residents who didn't want to go on camera told me they were sleeping until firefighters knocked on their door to get out. But once everyone was out, these residents said the fire was knocked down in probably 30 minutes. Cleanup crews are here now. They just finished up boarding up windows on the 3rd floor. Red Cross is assisting the residents at this time, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. For now, reporting live in Lincoln, Natalie Nori, ABC6 News.
All right, Natalie, thank you. And now to the latest on the crisis in Ukraine. Tensions continue to intensify as Russian President Vladimir Putin confirms that a series of strikes across Ukraine today were in response to what he's calling a terrorist act, the bombing of a crucial bridge to Crimea that Russia relied upon to supply its forces. ABC's Justin Finch is following the latest.
Across Ukraine, a series of withering missile strikes launched by Russian troops, ripping through civilian centers and vital infrastructure during the morning rush hour. This video showing a blast in Ukraine's capital city, Kyiv. In that same city, this playground ravaged. Rescuers searching ruins for survivors as parts of Ukraine are now left without power. Officials in Ukraine say Russia's latest attack has left several dead and dozens injured. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky calling Russian forces terrorists and urging Ukrainians to take shelter as his troops continue their counteroffensive against Russia. Speaking Monday, Russian leader Vladimir Putin confirming the missile strikes were in retaliation for the Saturday bombing of a bridge connecting Russia to the illegally annexed Crimean Peninsula. These before and after satellite images revealing the destruction. Ukraine has not claimed responsibility for that attack. Russia's latest aggression follows Ukraine's successes, retaking territory in the south and east. And President Biden last week cautioning Putin isn't joking when he threatens to use tactical nuclear weapons, saying we have not faced the prospect of Armageddon since Kennedy and the Cuban Missile Crisis. The White House pointing out there's no new intelligence suggesting Moscow is planning an imminent nuclear attack.
What the president was reflecting was that the stakes are high right now, given what's going on the battlefield in Ukraine and given the very irresponsible and reckless comments made by Vladimir Putin.
In his remarks today, President Putin acknowledged he called for those multiple strikes in Ukraine, which also hit several civilian centers, which critics also say could be an admission of war crimes. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
Well, Christopher Columbus statue vandalized over the weekend in Massachusetts. Waltham police are investigating after someone spray painted the monument in red paint right in Waltham Common. One woman took it upon herself to clean it up, saying it's an issue the Italian community deals with every year at this time. And the Columbus statue that once stood in Columbus Square on Elmwood Avenue in Providence used to have this same thing happen year after year until you may remember it was removed in 2020 by the city. The statue has not been put back up anywhere. It remains in storage. And Governor Dan McKee isn't at any Columbus Day events today as he recovers from an unscheduled medical procedure this weekend. The governor's office saying he had a minor issue with his urinary tract and that the procedure was a success. There will be no long-term impacts, adding that the governor feels very good. McKee missing his public appearances yesterday and today for the procedure. He is scheduled to be back to his public schedule on Tuesday. And 4 people arrested Saturday in South Kingstown at a large party. Police say they responded to a home rented by URI students around 6:30 after getting complaints about the large party. Police finding between 350 and 400 people there. Police say red Solo cups were found all over the property, and a majority of the students were drunk. Police say it's possible they'll bring more charges against others at the party, as well as the property owners. Still to come here on ABC6 News at noon, a longtime area high school football coach faces so much harassment, he quits. And the warning for Facebook users about potentially stolen login info. And a little later, why the newest iPhone keeps calling 911 while owners are on roller coasters. Back now with a story that's trending today. A Brockton football coach resigns from his post after years of harassment from the sidelines from his own players' parents. For 19 years, Con Chase has coached high school football. For the last 2 seasons, it was at Cardinal Spellman High School. He resigned after the team's Thursday night game against Bishop Fenwick, he says, due to 2 seasons of verbal abuse.
It's just nonstop, whether it's the play stink, don't have the team ready. They're just yelling at us. Last year we had a guy follow our assistant coaches out of the booth.
Never forget that when our coaches are coaching, they're doing this for the love of the sport and for what they're trying to do for young athletes.
Coach Chase's resignation comes as the state's High School Athletic Association asks fans to calm down. The MIAA says it has had a referee shortage for a couple of seasons now, in part because of verbal abuse from parents in the stands. For Coach Chase, he hopes his willingness to step off the field will be a wake-up call for parents in the stands. Still to come here on the news at noon, why Twitter is trying to stop users from taking screenshots of tweets. And a look at the fastest drive-through service, although the results might just tell us who's most popular. Taking a look at consumer news now. Facebook is warning that as many as 1 million users may have had their login information stolen. Meta's researchers have discovered more than 400 malicious Android and Apple apps designed to steal personal Facebook logins. A Meta spokesperson says the company is reaching out to the users who may be at risk. The malicious apps are disguised as games, photo editors, health and lifestyle services. The apps identified as part of the scam are being removed from Google Play. A new iPhone 14 feature is causing a bit of confusion. It's supposed to detect if you're in a car crash and alert 911. But something else is triggering the emergency calls: roller coasters. You can avoid the mix-up by switching to airplane mode. And Twitter is urging users to reshare tweets instead of screenshots. Some Twitter users have seen pop-ups prompting them to share a link to tweets instead of a screenshot. It is the latest change to the platform to get people to use Twitter more. And when it comes to fast food, who has the fastest drive-through? Well, according to industry data, Taco Bell is the best bet if you want to make a run for the border. Chick-fil-A may be the slowest, only because it's so popular and there are so many cars in line. And customers don't mind waiting. They give the chain a 93% satisfaction rating for speed. The second slowest drive-through, according to the survey, is at McDonald's.
And now, your ABC6 Storm Tracker weather with meteorologist Chelsea Priest.
Important information for when you're in a hurry, right? We are looking at a nice quiet day across southern New England, coming off of a couple of really great days for Saturday and Sunday. So many with a nice long weekend. Maybe you're heading down to take a walk along the beach. Not too many people out from the North Light camera over Block Island, but still an overall quiet day and slightly warmer day than where we were yesterday afternoon. There are more clouds outside today, but again, we're feeling a little bit better outside. We're in the low to mid 60s across most of the area, still sitting at 59 in Harrisville, 60 in Smithfield, 60 in Pawtucket, 64 in Warwick, 62 in Cranston, 60 for Coventry. Actually a little bit warmer along the coastline. This is the time of year that our water temperatures are still in that low 60s range. The breeze is coming in off the water, and you're looking at temperatures in the mid 60s for Westerly, for Narragansett, for Jamestown and Little Compton. Out through southeastern Mass, pretty uniform temperatures, most spots staying in that low to mid 60s range. Again, we have this breeze that's coming in from the southwest. It's a warmer wind direction, about 10 to 15 miles per hour. A few gusts outside at times right now, a singular gust out over Plymouth at 24 miles per hour, but a couple gusts at times today around 20 miles per hour. More importantly, that breeze from the southwest does continue to bring in slightly warmer conditions. Highs today in the mid 60s, mid to upper 60s tomorrow, and then actually making it into the low 70s on Wednesday. Should be a picture perfect day, your pick of the week, with sunshine all day long. High temperatures in that low 70s range, staying in the low 70s as we head into Wednesday or Thursday rather as well. That's going to come with more clouds and some showers, so enjoy the clouds that we have today and seasonable temperatures, but more so Tuesday and Wednesday, all of that sunshine and some slightly warmer conditions. Satellite radar image shows you that clouds have been rolling in for a little while now. We're looking at more clouds today, and there's a few sprinkles, some shower activity mainly to our north. You can see a little, very light sprinkle activity just off to our west. A couple raindrops may come through in some of those clouds, but mainly for inland spots, very light, very brief. There's not a ton of moisture with this line that's coming through, more so just in the form of clouds. Now this pushes through the afternoon and early evening hours, and then we dry out overnight, we clear out overnight, and we see a nice big high pressure system moving in for the coming days. So the last of the clouds outside around sunset. Overnight we dry out. You'll see sunshine by tomorrow morning. Plenty of sun all day tomorrow. High temperatures in the mid to upper 60s range. Clear conditions and sunshine continuing for most of Wednesday. It'll be overnight Wednesday. Clouds start to roll in. Thursday, we see clouds outside, and eventually this rain and breezy conditions start to move into the area as we head into the later part of the week. Quick update on the tropics for you. Things have been relatively quiet from this morning up until this point. There is one small area of the Yucatan Peninsula that the National Hurricane Center is watching only a 10% chance of development in the next 5 days. So hoping that things continue to stay very quiet in the Atlantic. Peak time of hurricane season is September. So as we head through the coming weeks, we can hope after Ian that things do remain pretty quiet for the Atlantic basin. Mid 60s outside today. You'll get into a little bit of sun popping through, but a lot of clouds. A bit breezy at times. Will be partly clear overnight. Temps in the low to mid 40s. And then tomorrow we warm things up nicely in the mid to upper 60s range, slightly above average tomorrow. Highs as we head into Wednesday with sunshine in the low 70s on Thursday with more clouds, and then some overnight rain Thursday and into Friday. Tori?
All right, Chels, thank you. Well, fall has just begun, but some are already talking about winter, and that means the return of ski season, especially for some major resorts in Vermont. Killington, for example, they've already begun firing up the snow guns. Check it out. But these guys, they aren't just getting ready for casual skiers. They're also hosting the Women's Ski World Cup Tour. That's happening on Thanksgiving weekend. Still to come here on the news at noon. Fall fun at some local festivals. We'll take a look at some events still happening today. Happening today, they are celebrating Columbus on Federal Hill once again. Since Friday, they've been marking the 30th annual Federal Hill Festival. Thousands gathered on the hill yesterday for the parade, and today the party continues with live music and great food. Things wrap up around 8 tonight. And a Columbus Day tradition continues in Scituate. The Scituate Arts Festival now in its 56th year. The Village Green will be packed with people checking out the wide variety of unique arts and crafts. If you can make it, bring your appetite. You can indulge in some good old country cooking. The festival runs until 4 p.m. And the Autumn Fest parade was held this morning, filled with high school marching bands, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, sports teams, and dance studios. Autumn Fest is in its 44th year. The festival drawing in thousands of attendees each year, claiming to be the largest fall festival in northern Rhode Island. Still to come here on the news at noon, check out the massive, record-setting giant gourd taking a top title in Topsfield this weekend. And we're going to check back in with Chelsea, too, for another look at your afternoon forecast right after this. Well, a new record is set for the biggest pumpkin in North America. It weighs a whopping 2,480 pounds. Jamie Graham won the top prize at the annual All New England Giant Pumpkin Weigh-Off at the Topsfield Fair in Massachusetts. His pumpkin broke the previous record of a little over 2,200 pounds. It is now the 4th biggest in the world and the 11th biggest undamaged pumpkin ever grown. I like that, undamaged.
Yes, that's important.
There. Yes.
It's a science.
It truly is.
Yes, I have met some of the giant pumpkin growers in years past, and the amount of work that goes into it and literal science to grow those pumpkins is incredible.
And to think of growing that in the summer when we had such a drought.
Yep.
Wow, incredible.
Made it happen. We are looking at some rain in our forecast, although drought conditions are certainly significantly better than where we were at over the summer. We had beautiful weather over the weekend. Today, you're seeing kind of a mix of sun and clouds. It's a few degrees warmer. Tuesday and Wednesday look really great. Lots of sunshine, temperatures in the upper 60s for Tuesday, low 70s on Wednesday. Very beautiful day out there. On Thursday, we'll still be hovering around 70 degrees. Expect increasing clouds and eventually some rain to move in. Friday during the daytime looks rainy and breezy with highs in the upper 60s, but we do dry out and clear out pretty quickly Friday. Right now, I know it's Monday at 12:30, but the weekend looks to dry out, be a little bit cooler with temperatures staying in the low to mid 60s, which is seasonable as we head through the month of October.
There is no shame in looking ahead to the weekend on a Monday.
Agreed.
All right. Especially for those of us who are working on the holiday.
There's that too.
There you go.
There's that too.
That's going to do it for us for now. The news continues first at 4. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.